Everybody, what is happening? It's Bill with Franklin Loan Center, and today I wanted to talk just a little bit about your homeowners insurance. And this came about just because I've seen a couple of articles recently talking about insurance carriers declining coverage, and this was the two that I saw were in relation to the recent fires up in LA, because the insurance, like the property that burned down, was in a trust, but the insurance was in the name of the borrowers or the homeowners. And apparently there's a technicality in some of these policies that would allow the carrier to, it's like, look, we didn't have the right insured here. And so they're like declining coverage, or at least attempting to decline coverage. I'm sure this last chapter isn't written yet, but it does bring up an interesting point, right? And I made a couple of calls. I did some research on this, and it's kind of like, I know a lot of people have family trust. And quite frankly, if you don't have one, you should probably be getting one. If you own a house, that's kind of the minimum reason to get one. So anyway, mostly what I was seeing is yeah, indeed, like some of these carriers really can decline coverage if your house is in the trust, but the insurance is in your own personal names. What appears to be a pretty easy way to get around this with a handful of different carriers, and I'm sure this is one where, like, look, the net of this thing is like, call your insurance company and figure out what to do. But what I saw over and over again is to make sure and add your trust as an additional insured. So that feels like one bit of advice, but again, the real advice here is, look, now is the time to call your insurance carrier if your property is in a trust and the trust isn't named already, right? So just want to make sure, get the green light that however you have it set up is the right way, right? Because the worst case scenario is what some of these homeowners up in LA are going through right now, apparently, which is, now they're in a position where their house is either fully destroyed or partially destroyed. And now the insurance is trying to act like they're not going to cover it on essentially a technicality. Now, of course, and this is a whole other topic that I'm very cynical about, but of course you can expect the insurance company to try and find reasons not to cover you. Publicly traded companies, they care about their shareholders. But again, that's why I just want to get out in front of this. And I think this is probably especially important. Like, I know the most recent house we bought, we actually bought it in the name of the trust, so we already know the insurance is right on that. But again, if you recently transferred it in, then into the trust, that is, then it's just a great reason to just pause for a second, make sure you call your insurance company and make sure that they have the names right, or however the insured is right with the insurance company. So just a quick heads up. It shouldn't take you more than a few minutes to call your insurance company and kind of find out what the scoop is, and get this fixed. But again, if you have a trust and your house is in that trust, make sure and verify with your insurance company that they have the proposed insured in an accurate way on that, so that let the insurance company try to wiggle out of some coverage. So that's all I have this week. I guess this is just a PSA, but that's it. I'm Bill. I'm the Franklin Loan Center, and I'll see y'all next week.